back to my channel. I'm quite pleased to be doing this video because, well, it's regarding a charity project. And I made a video about it like maybe 10 months ago now. But it was really just me and a friend goofing around while testing computers, and we didn't really show any of the process. We were just kind of there, like goofing about while we tested them. And I'd like to show a bit more in this video the process I have for testing computers, because yes, believe it or not, the project is, well, it's still going on, and I very much want to keep it going. So, but I also want to show what I'm doing because it's fun for me. It's great because it's you know, my channel is computer oriented, so getting to test a whole bunch of computers on camera, if that's your kind of thing, you like to see. If you like to see this sort of thing, then well, you're in the right video, I suppose. So I've got a no, you can't see them, but I've got 8 Optiplexes, 2 Optiplex 980s and 6 Optiplex 990s. They are right here beside me, as you can see, all along my floor here. And we're gonna be testing them out today, because I need to put them in a spreadsheet I have of all my computers, their specs, their brand, everything like that, and mark them as for donation, because if I can be honest with you, I have so many computers that they're all hard to keep track of. So I'd also like to say thank you to the person who donated this. His name is Chris. He is a huge contributor in my project. If I'm remembered correctly, he's donated about, let's see here, I want to say about 38 machines now, somewhere in that range, or somewhere around that number, and most of them have gotten donated, or are ready to be donated, but I need to get these 8 Optiplexes ready to be donated, so I'm going to start out with, this guy right here that I'm slowly sliding into frame. It's a little heavy, but it's one of the Optiplex 980s. And according to the person who donated this, they haven't been wiped yet. Or this one hasn't been wiped yet. So I'm going to need to take care of that at some later point. I don't really feel like waiting for a hard drive to finish up, zero formatting while I'm trying to film a video, but it'll get done. Right. Alright, this thing just automatically turned on by itself. Love it when they do that. Yep, there it goes. Alright, so I'm going to have to press F12, because I want the boot menu. See, what I do here is I don't just boot into Windows, because it's probably password protected, has sensitive data on it too, most likely. So what I like to do is I like to boot into a USB with an Ubuntu installer on it, so I can use the live environment to just check the specs, do all that good stuff. Looks like the CMOS battery died. I don't really feel like saying the time and date right now. These have internal speakers. That's kind of cool. Okay, so now I'm going to hit try Ubuntu. Okay, so we're in the live environment now, and first thing I do is I go into settings, and what I do from there is I go into the about menu, and this lists all the specs. So what we have here is an Optiplex 980, has a Core i3 550 at 3.2 gigahertz, and that's 2 cores, 4 threads, 8 GB of DDR3 RAM. Looks like it has just the first gen Intel graphics. Yeah, looks like that. Okay, and second thing I like to do is take a look in disks. And when we come to a size like this, a 250 gig hard drive, those are quite old. You never see a new 250 gig hard drive or even a 500 gig hard drive. Usually those are getting a bit old. So I like to check the smart data. and everything looks fine. It's had almost 5 years of power on time, so it probably is beginning to reach the end of its life, because that is quite a while for a hard drive. And we have 0 bad sectors though, so that is actually probably fine. The disk is probably fine for at least now. No signs of failure yet. Very good. Judging by this NTFS partition, this thing has not been wiped yet, so I'm gonna have to take care of that at some point in the future. And just to make sure, yeah, looks like this probably has Windows 10 on it. Probably isn't the fastest thing either, because I don't think this is well, I don't think this is this hard drive probably isn't 7200 RPM. 5400 RPM drives, super slow. Okay, that's the first machine tested. I'm going to power that off and put it to the side. Second Optiplex 980, our last Optiplex 980. And I think I'm gonna switch up the camera angle just a little bit. Switch up the monitor and the camera angle just so you can see this a little bit better, because just taking a look and it probably wasn't too visible. So I'm gonna make it a little bit easier to see. There we go. Performing automatic IDE configuration. Oh boy, this thing is IDE on it. That's interesting. Well, it just kernel panicked and shut off the processor. That's always a good sign, right? I always want to see that, personally. Maybe just a one-off. ZSTD compressed data is corrupt. Oh. That's, fun. I guess I'm creating a new Ubuntu USB today. I'll be right back, I suppose. Alright, I am back, and with a new Ubuntu USB. Hopefully this one works. Surprised it just managed to corrupt like that, but this should work if the USB drive didn't break. Excuse you? Are you good? What's going on here? Okay. I'm gonna turn it off. I'm gonna remove the USB. Okay, didn't do it that time. It might be the USB. It might be broken. Or this computer might just not like this USB, because it seemed to work on my desktop, and so I'm inclined to believe that we're all good, I think. Okay, so as it turns out, these numbers here actually mean something. They're like post indicators, and looking on the Dell website, it looks like 3 and 4 together means there's an actual memory configuration error, so I think we might have some bad RAM in this machine. Either that, or the sockets need, or the DIMM slots need to be dusted out, or yeah, just something's wrong here. So I'm gonna open it up and just try resetting the memory and see what it does. Alright, well, as disappointing as that is, I already went ahead and removed the 8 gigs of RAM and the 250 gig hard drive. And I'll probably strip the optical drive, and probably processor as well at some point later. Okay, so it's time to start testing our Optiplex 990s, which is pretty cool because they're a bit newer. They use, I believe, 2nd gen Intel instead of 1st gen. And I've got the USB stick plugged in, I've got the keyboard plugged in, so I guess all I gotta do now is hit the power button. I guess all I gotta do now is plug it in. There we go, that's more like it. Alright, should turn on by itself. No? Okay. I'll do it myself. It just turned off. Okay, one more time. There we go. That's more like it. Alert, keyboard not found? Well, I highly doubt that. To continue, press F1 key. Okay, buddy. Okay, but it does look like I can't actually get my USB stick to show up, so that's a little concerning. Alright, so since this thing doesn't really want to cooperate with our USB, we're going a little old school this time, and we're going to use a CD with a copy of Gparted on it, which is really just a Linux distribution, so I should be able to just fine get it to run all the commands I need to run to find out the hardware spec. Alright. Good, good. It sees this, it's booting off of that. So I guess that's a little annoying, but it's fine. I can live with using something different on this computer. Hopefully these other 5 Optiplexes do see the USB that I have, and it's just this guy has a little bit of an issue. Alright, here we are. So, interestingly, this one looks like it actually has quite a bit of data on it and hasn't been wiped, so I'll have to make sure I get that done. But it also looks like it's got a 250 gig drive in it. But that's not really what I'm exactly here to find out. Well, it is actually one of them, I think about it. Okay, so the first thing I need to know is processor, so cat/proc/CPU info. That is, let's see here. Alright, we have a Core i3-2120, so I was right, it is using 2nd gen Intel here. And the next thing is how much RAM we have. Okay. So we have, in our first slot, oh, it's empty. In this one, 2 gigs. In this one, empty. And this one, 2 gigs. So it has 4 gigs of memory. A little underwhelming, but whatever. Okay, well I can shut this one down now, because that's all I need to know. Alright, that is our first Optiplex 990 working, aside from the weird shutoff it had at the start, which hasn't happened again, so I assume it was just some weird fluke, and the non-detection of a USB stick, which I hope doesn't carry over to these other 5. Alright, currently got our second 990 here. Hopefully this one will boot off of my USB stick. Really appreciate it if it would. So I'm going to turn it on and just try and see. Oh, this one turned off too. Maybe this is just some quirk with this machine. Well, a good sign is that the red indicator light on my USB stick actually does blink with this one, so it probably is reading it and seeing it. Looks like our VGA cable isn't plugged in. Oh no, it is. Oh, but the monitor got turned off. It's unplugged. There we go. That should do it. Alright. Yeah, let's see here. Onboard NIC? By chance, is that what it means by USB? Oh. No, it just shut off. Okay. Oh, and then restarted? That's fun. Alright, well, it's not seeing the USB stick, so I guess this is just some limitation of its BIOS or something, but we've got the CD, so it's fine. Oh, it's got a 250 gig hard drive, good to note. They probably all have 250 gig hard drives in them. Cat, clock, CPU info. So, this one has an i5 sticker on the front, so it's probably a little bit better than the one I just tested beforehand. Let's see, though. Oh. Yeah, that is better. So we've got an i5 2400 in here, which is pretty good. What's even more impressive is this actually looks to be a quad core, so it's still, like, surprisingly useful today. I was under the impression that most i5s from the era were dual cores, but I stand corrected. Alright, so we have 4 slots. 2 empty, 3 empty. Oh, whoops, no. Let's do this right. 1 empty, okay, 4 gig, another empty. We have 8 gigs of RAM in this one. Alright, well, with that, I have everything I need from this one. It's time to shut her down. Alright, well, it didn't post, which is kind of worrying, but I'm going to try it one more time. There we go. That's what I like to see. I will say the CD drive does not appear to be working here. I'm gonna see if this one will detect a USB, otherwise I'm gonna go in and see if the CD drive is even plugged in. Oh, interesting. This one's got a RAID array on it. I'm actually kind of curious about that, but... No, yeah, I'm gonna open this up and take a look, actually. I'm just curious. Well, from the looks of it, there's only one hard drive in here. Yeah, there's only one hard drive. Whoever did this, did they, like, RAID 2 partitions on one hard drive or something? They put has Windows 10, no activation, but very slow on the top. Well, maybe it's because you did RAID on one hard drive. Is that even possible? That's an interesting question, actually. Yeah, I mean, it would be very slow if you tried that, I'm very sure. Since that's not really how it's meant to be done. Backup GPT table is correct, but primary appears to be... Okay, so that will be used. Okay, I guess. Thanks for telling me, question mark? That's a little, cool, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so this is another 250 gig drive, though I'm going to check on the space by actually pulling the drive out and taking a look before I finish up with this computer, because if it's in RAID, it could be split into partitions combined into one. Now, I'm having trouble believing that anyone would RAID one hard drive, as I don't think it's actually possible. But I better check just in case. But either way, that's not what matters right now. What matters are the specs of this machine. Looks like we've got another i5 2400, very good, and we've got 2 gigs. We've got 4 gigs. Okay. Alright, time to shut this machine off and just check on the hard drive size real quick just in case. Seriously, no idea why anybody would ever raid, why anyone would ever raid one hard drive, but whatever. It's probably why it was really slow. Nope, that's 250 gigs, okay. Now I'm just confused. Alright, 6th Optiplex. Optiplex. Alright, another 250 gig drive. I'm not really surprised anymore. Alright. Now this one's got an i3 in it, so I'm assuming it's most likely one of those 2120s again. But I'll check anyways. Gotta be accurate. Oh, it's a 2100, not a 2120. Okay. Oh, I need to sudo that. Alright, so in here we have a 4 gig, another 4 gig. Yep, okay, so we've got in this machine 8 gigabytes of DDR3, another 250 gigabyte hard drive, oh, knocked down the camera. Oh, interesting. Looks like this one's flashing a code of some sort. The power light is blinking amber. And if I recall, that means the power supply is incapable of giving enough power. Like, the power supply is, it's getting power, but there's not enough that it can provide. So, that's not great, but I'm going to open this thing up and see if something's just not connected, because that's a lot of the time the case. Okay, so I actually found a tag on this that says that there's no RAM and no hard drive, so yeah. Being without RAM probably wouldn't give any form of error like that. The power supply might just be gone. Okay, well actually it's not flashing that code anymore, so that could legitimately be the issue. That fan has had better days. Something's hitting up against it, or... Yeah, no, that fan has issues. Okay, well, the computer works. Just somebody removed the RAM and hard drive for some reason. Alright, so we have no hard drive in here, so but that's alright. Alright, what have we got in here? Oh, we have an i5 2400. Alright, happy to see that. Alright, this is the last Optiplex, and it also has a tag, but it just says, oh, upgraded to Windows 10. So, suppose I'm just gonna try and boot off of this. Oh, okay. Alright, time to see the usual 250 gig hard drive. Oh my god, it's a 500 gig hard drive. Well, that's a little bit fancy. We're getting a little, getting a bit, advanced here, are we? Alright. Well, let's run those two commands. Alright, we've got another i5 2400. Okay, so we have empty 4 gigs, empty 4 gigs. Okay. Okay. Well, that is the last Optiplex we have. So, this is the sort of thing that I just kind of do for this charity. I wipe hard drives, I test machines, look at their specs, put them into my spreadsheet so I can make sure I know what ones are for donation, what ones aren't. Because at this point I have so many that it's hard to figure out anymore. So, I hope that you potentially enjoyed the tediousness that we just went through. This is kind of enjoyable for me, so I'm glad to make a video on it. And with that, I will see you in the next video. Thank you.